What up, Wolves? Blade Master here. You're watching the Wolf of Remus Total War channel, and this is going to be yet another Total War Rome 2 online battle replay. In this one, I've taken Galatia, and my opponent, whom I found on Quick Battle, has taken Arverni. And this battle is going to kind of show you how to really chain route an enemy and some useful tactics to quickly cause some morale penalties to effectively wipe out your enemy before he even has a chance. So I've taken 4 Galatian Raiders, whom I'm going to put on top of this hill. This is played in the map of Pella. It's a very unbalanced map, and it's not a really fun map, to be quite honest, because there's this massive hill on top of over here, and your opponent's deployment zone, or one player's deployment zone, is right up here. So he's got a clear advantage to take a very defensive position at the top of the hill and basically camp out there. It has the potential to be a really cool map because there's this huge patch of forest here, and it could lead to some pretty epic, forest skirmishes. But no one really wants to or would want to do that, for good reason, because when you have this huge hill over here, why would you ever try and get the battle over there? So anyways, I've taken 4 Galatian Raiders who are going to be busy firing onto these heavy horse. My opponent brought a War Dogs unit over here, as you can see, but he didn't set them on my Galatian Raiders, which is a big mistake. Although even if he did, Galatian Raiders are one of the few units that can easily kill off War Dogs without taking many casualties. I learned that the hard way because I thought it'd be cute in one of those battles, and brought like 2 War Dogs who just got completely slaughtered by Galatian Raiders. And that's because these guys have incredible melee attack and weapon damage on top of some excellent melee stats in general. 39 charge bonus, 56 melee defense. I mean, they're just really, really strong units. And for the price, they are by far the best Javelin cavalry units that you can take. And you can see that he's, he tried to chase them off, and 4 Galatian Raiders is just a huge opponent, or just a huge pain in the ass for any player to face up against. He powered frenzy charge way too quickly. He makes a bunch of mistakes in this battle, but I mean, hopefully you can see there are some useful tactics that you can use, which I'll come to explain later on. So 20 of his heavy horse have already died, and now they're pretty tired as well. So besides my 4 Galatian Raiders, I've brought a total of 3 noble horse and a total of 7 Galatian legionaries. And one pretty salient feature of most barbarian or competent barbarian builds is that there should be strength in simplicity. You don't need to bring many rosters don't really have a big variety of troops, but the troops that they do have are very strong. So Galatian legionaries are among the strongest mid-tier units that you can find. Noble horse, as we all know, are very competent against both cavalry and infantry, and Galatian Raiders, they're just strong against everything. They don't have the variety that Hellenic factions have, but what Hellenic factions do have is they have a bunch of underpowered units that could be that people could be tempted into taking. And another thing that you need to know is the higher the variety of troops that you have, the more difficult time you would have while microing them. So you can see he's brought my opponent's brought Gallic hunters. He's brought some Celtic skirmishers, but clearly these two have different ranges and they need to be used in a different way. He's also brought chosen swordsmen. That's fine. He's brought 3 oathsworn over here, which are very deadly troops, as you can see. He's also brought spear warriors, a total of 4 spear warriors, 1 war dogs unit on top of only a couple of light cav, of heavy horse. So he's brought a bunch of different troops. Spear warriors, that's a good idea. He brought a few cavalry, which is, I mean, it doesn't seem like the best idea, but then again, Galatian cavalry always outmatches, most of Arverni's cavalry. Noble horse, it will destroy heavy horse. Galatian raiders can always destroy or pick apart any cavalry forces that decide to, run up against them. And he focused a lot of his money on chosen swordsmen, and he brought some spear warriors as well, which is a good idea. Like his build isn't the strongest build, but it's a good build to counter Galatia. It's just a matter of how well he can use them. Here my Galatian raiders are getting very close to his Gallic hunters, and he's failed to do anything to counter that. Maybe he didn't expect me to rush in to his unit so early, but Galatian raiders are just perfect for killing off these types of troops. So yeah, I've got a rear charge on these Gallic hunters or whatever they call, yeah, Gallic hunters, got attacked in the rear, and they'll just fall very very quickly now. And this is exactly what I'm going to do with these Galatian Raiders. Just run in, charge up against them, cause a morale penalty, and then start charging up against all the other Gallic hunters and just destroy as many of his missile troops as much as possible. Here I've attacked his Gallic hunters, whom he bunched up together with my Galatian legionaries. Galatian legionaries are the only barbarian troops that have formation attack. So on top of, and you will see that come into play very soon. So on top of having great melee stats, 40 missile attack, 40 melee attack, and 40 weapon damage, they have the ability to stay in a fight for a very very long time. And here you will be able to see that come into play here. The formation attack in general just lets your units last longer, and that's because they're closer to each other, and that comes at the penalty of not being able to surround your enemy as effectively as non-formation attack units. But here these Oathsworn are going to get a charge up against my Galatian legionaries, and this is where you'll see that formation attack come into play. Oathsworn have incredible melee stats and will be able to destroy especially a barbarian troop very very quickly. But on top of the really strong, really high melee defense and armor and health that Galatian legionaries have, the fact that they have formation attack means that they will stay in the fight for a long time. Here, my Galatian Raiders are picking apart his Celtic skirmishers, and they're just going to make short work of them. And I've got a couple of Raiders here who don't have any ammo left, which is well, it's not a big issue because these spear warriors are not going to match up against my Galatian legionaries at all. And I've destroyed. Well, one of my Galatian Raiders has died, but I've in the meanwhile I've destroyed all of his Celtic skirmishers. He's only got one Gallic hunters here that's going to be charged in by my Galatian Raiders. Here I've rear charged his Oathsworn with one of my noble horse. Look at these Galatian legionaries. In spite of him turning on headhunt, they're still taking just forever to die. They're still at 104 units despite being charged at by a headhunted Oathsworn. Here I'm going to charge in with my Galatian Raiders, and let's put this on slow motion for a second, because these spear warriors I chose to attack. I mean I could have rear charged them a long time ago, but I chose this moment to attack them because I was going to get a rear charge in with my noble horse, and I was going to time that in with a rear charge in with my Galatian Raiders. And as you can see, I decided to charge them when they had like around 70 men left, and that's a good time to charge these units because they have below average base morale. And timing that with a charge with my noble horse, who are just incredibly deadly units, will create like this huge morale penalty across this entire line. And as you can see, these guys have like 58 men left, 57, 57 and 66, and they've all started to rout. So it's all about timing and coordination if you want to and yeah, that's exactly the same thing here. I've rear charged his entire line at basically the same time with all of my units, and that's just creating this huge morale penalty right across this entire line. His Oathsworn won't really be affected by it, but effectively what I've done is I've just destroyed his entire army, so that all I have to do is focus on 2 units of Oathsworn. He's got 1 extra unit of Oathsworn over here, which killed off my Galatian Raiders, but they're not going to do much else. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you guys. Now that I've killed off that spear warrior unit, I've got 1 Galatian legionaries free, which is going to rear charge this chosen swordsman unit. And this chosen swordsman unit is going to start wavering, and has been wavering for quite a while. And that's, like I said, that's just because of this whole morale penalty that got affected right across his line. And that one started to rout, and seeing as his friend started to rout this chosen swordsman started to rout as well. And yeah, the more further proof of these Galatian legionaries and the effect of formation attack. They haven't gotten many kills, but they have lasted for such a long time against both his Oathsworn. He put his general into shield wall, which is it's not a great move. But seeing as he got rear charged by a noble horse, I can see why he decided to do that. We can see that my opponent made a couple of mistakes, quite a few mistakes, and he really could have played this game better. But like I said, this video just provides proof of how being able to coordinate your rear charges affects a game a lot more than just I mean, if you can find spots to rear charge, that's well and good. You can do that, but waiting for a couple of minutes can make that rear charge even more devastating. If I didn't coordinate my rear charges, we wouldn't have seen such a quick victory, because that morale penalty wouldn't have been affected at the same time across his line. And that's the end of this game, you guys. I've managed to rout the rest of his army. Close victory, wasn't really much of a hassle for me. I lost only 338 men and killed 1,300 men of his. So we can see that the whole strength and simplicity thing comes into play here. I didn't have to micro very much. Again, my opponent wasn't the strongest opponent. No offense to him. Must have been someone a bit new to the game. But yeah, I just had Javelin cavalry who are incredibly effective, had Noble Horse who are incredibly effective, and Galatian legionaries who are again incredibly effective. So just bringing three different types of units, I managed to create a pretty strong army. I didn't really need to bring spear units, because if anything, my Galatian Raiders would affect a cavalry, or would help my cavalry a lot more than any spear troop would ever will. So anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. Peace.